So good morning, everybody. It's early in the morning and it is a cold day today, so I'm sure by the end of the session, we're going to have many more people participating in it. At the outset, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity of being here amidst all of you. And by the time my presentation comes up, I'd like to share with you that I'm the Director HR of Engineers India Limited, but I have almost 33 years of experience as HR in hydrocarbon sector, because before coming on the board of EIL, I was with ONGC. And having been in hydrocarbon sector for so many years, and in my present assignment, where we are a knowledge-based company and human resources are only a set, I know where the shoe pinches. And today I feel that skill and skilling is one of the most important challenges for all businesses. I'll begin with a quote of Harvey Mackay when he said that your workforce is your most valuable asset. The knowledge and skills they have represent the fuel that drives the engine of business, and you can leverage that knowledge. Because you will all agree that business does not create value, it's the people there who actually create the value for an organization. And you will also agree that the human resource of an organization is the key differentiator, differentiating one organization from another. You may have the best of systems, you may have the best of processes, but a company stands out only by its human resource, the quality of the human resource that we have. And the challenge being faced world over today is of talent management, acquiring talent, and greater still, retaining that talent to meet the requirement of the organization. All of us being from the hydrocarbon sector, we'll agree that the factors transforming and reshaping the oil and gas industry are changing geopolitical relationships, emergence of new competitors, changes in demand and supply, social and environmental pressure, and demographic shifts. There's a huge, huge demand coming up of energy, and with that, the challenges for the hydrocarbon sector world over. How are we going to meet it? There is a war for talent today. And this is because of the rapid industrial growth that is happening on one hand, highly specialized and experienced jobs which are required. As chairman of the session was just saying, the specialization is to that extent that we want universities now to dwell only on specializations. We have an aging workforce, no doubt, and constraints on supply is there. But I fear when we talk about specialized, very specialized universities, somewhere I have a feeling as an HR professional that we are actually limiting the potential of our people, and how far will we reach with that? Are we going to go into that level of specialization, or are we really going to have them multitasking? I'll share with you some figures of a survey of a US-based company, Manpower Consultants Group, who said that when they did the survey in February 2015, it's a year back, they had surveyed about 37,000 employers in 42 countries and territories, and what they observed was that the greatest talent shortage was in Japan, 81%, Peru, 67%, and in India, 64%. And the difficulty in finding candidates with the right skills to fill open positions was 36%. Companies were facing that, and so on and so forth. So this is a world over phenomena, the war for talent. This is again a slide on shortage. Now, where are the shortages? They are, of course, in for engineering. We have in various other areas like sales representatives, but what is hitting us is the skilled trades. Coming from EIL, I know that when we are doing a project, we don't get the number of welders that we want. We don't get the number of bar benders that we want. When we were on this project, which has just been dedicated to the nation by the Honorable Prime Minister at Dibrugarh, the BCPL project, it was impossible to get the number of welders that we wanted. Because on one hand, you have that area specification, The Northeast, they wouldn't allow welders to come in from other states. They themselves didn't have so many, and the entire project was getting delayed because of shortage of welders. So this is a phenomenon which is all over. And of course, technicians and IT and various other areas. Now, what happens with skill building? It creates a lot of value, it empowers our people, it raises the productivity and contributes towards boosting the future innovation and development. But what are our challenges that we face on day-to-day basis when we talk about skill building? It's an absence of a learning culture. We send people for training because we can spare them. We don't focus so much as we should be. And that learning culture which is required within an organization is something which is lacking. Lack of ownership and accountability. Absence of standardization for the requirements of skills. There are so many universities, there are so many institutions who have mushroomed and are providing certification. Do we have standardization of that? There's an absence of impact assessment, shortage of quality trainers, and lack of training objectives. So in our country today, where we need so much of skilling, we really need to put our house in order. We immediately need to create a learning organization. All our organizations should be learning organizations where there's a culture for learning, making all stakeholders within the organization and outside accountable for it, making training learner-centric, using technology for flexibility, standardizing training for outcomes, and essentially doing an impact assessment to see where we stand and what more is required in our programs. The basic skills which are required are fundamental skills, technical skills, communication skills, life skills, and social skills. Now, any successful professional would be requiring all these skills to be really successful in the area where they are operating. Now, we are all aware that the National Skill Development Council is in place. It's in the PPP mode, and it's providing advocacy and partnership, project selection, and project management. Sectoral skill councils have been set up within the country, and I am also a member of the Hydrocarbon Sector Skill Council set up by our Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. This is with a vision to make India energy independent by 2030. It has been promoted by the Oil Industry Development Board and PetroFed, and we, Director Human Resource of the various oil companies, are also members of this council. The objectives of this council are to identify the challenges and opportunities, identify the skill gaps which are there. Extensive exercise has been done on this, preparation of training modules so that we can standardize them, and preparing the roadmap and execution. To take it further, under the aegis of Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, we are having these skill development institutes which are now coming up. The first of its kind is coming up in Bhubaneswar, where Indian Oil Corporation is the anchor company, but all of us oil companies are pitching into it. And the objective there also is to see that we are able to increase the employment of the youth around, provide them the skilled trades, and extensive work is on to see which are the trades where we can immediately start giving. And in the phase one, even though the land and other things are still being procured, we have already started to see that within the next 2-3 months we are able to start a course. The focus here is on the skill trades like welding, carpentry, which are going to be utilized by us. Now coming to my own company, EIL, how do we do talent management? Being 3,200 strong strength, but as I said, the only asset that we have is our human resource. So we have a model where we connect, we engage, we develop, and we retain. We connect through various models of recruitment, There's entry-level induction, we have a middle level. As and when the requirement is there, we are doing outsourcing. We have empaneled agencies so that as and when required, we are able to outsource. We have our roles and responsibilities identified, and identification of competencies is a major area of focus which I have been focusing on. This competency mapping journey, here we have brought in the EIL strategy and context. We have brought in the international best practices, the EIL competency model, and we have got these revalidated recently through some consultants to ensure that we are on the right track. And through our assessment development centers, we are identifying the profiles of our people, and based on this, we are then building the individual profiles wherein we are giving them leadership development, training interventions, and as well as integrating with our performance management system for their positioning within the organization. It's not a simple task, but we are making a headway there. And of course, we develop our people through a very structured growth program where at the workman level, we have the programs where we call access. Between the entry level and manager level, we have structured programs called climb. Between the senior manager to the AGM level, we have build, where we are giving them the MDPs and the various other developmental programs. And then, of course, we have the programs called lead. So it's access, climb, build, and lead. And for lead, apart from the various leadership programs, we have our own customized program called Arohan, where we are developing our people through action learning projects, and it has been rather very successful. I'll quickly, this is the last slide, also tell you on the focus that we have been making on skill development through our CSR projects. In fact, you'll be happy to know that we in the last 1 year have got almost 8,000 people who are either trained or are in the process of being trained through our various projects. Whether it was welding technology, it was graphic designing, because we are giving back to society. So in the various areas, in the backward areas, so these are the various programs that we have been doing, and our focus majorly now is on CSR. And I'll again close with a quote by Thomas Watson when he says, "I believe the real difference between success and failure in a corporation can be very often traced to the question of how well the organization brings out the great energies and talents of its people." Thank you.